Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Trigby. I'm with BusyWeb. Today we're going to be talking about Frankenmarketing, how you built it, how you did it, and how do we kill it. Today we're going to be talking about Frankenmarketing. How are we going to be able to save you some money and, more importantly, save you quite a bit of time. So before I get real started, I'm going to stop the screen share, and I want to share with you one other window that is over here. This is the actual, the YouTube live page, which you should have gotten via an email. You can see over here, there is chat that you can add and send me some messages. If you have questions during the broadcast, I will be more than happy to try and answer them for you so that we can have as good of a show as possible. So again, if you've got that as part of the YouTube live page where this is being viewed, or if you got to us through the website, feel free and ask a question and I will try and answer it best I can. So thanks again for joining us. This is a new show for us insofar as that we are donating all of the proceeds from the attendance that you paid to join today to the African American Breast Cancer Alliance, which is based here in Minnesota. It's a fantastic organization. If you want to check it out, it's aabca.org. And let's get started. I'm going to be going through a ton of information today, and I'm going to be trying to do it relatively fast so that I can give you as much as I can in a short amount of time. So if you feel like you've missed something, if you feel like I have eked over the line and you'd like to ask me some questions, or if you just want to tell me that some of my jokes aren't funny, you can feel free and get me here. This will be posted privately to YouTube, which means that only the people who have paid to get to take part in this today will be able to access it. So it will be private on our YouTube channel, but we'll be more than happy to share the deck with you. If you're new to the busy webinars that we do, I wanted to take a moment to tell you a little bit about us. We're a full-service growth marketing agency based in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Our focus is primarily on lead generation and new customer acquisition for our clients. How we manifest that self is in inbound marketing, content, web design, and digital marketing. If you're interested in talking with somebody about these things, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. We are also a HubSpot agency partner, and we are also a full-service Google partner as well. So let's get started. What exactly is Frankenmarketing, and why are we going to talk about it? Well, just like Frankenstein's monster himself, we have created an assembly of different marketing parts to make a whole. More than likely, we've done that over the years. We've added, changed, deleted things as we saw fit, or if we've gotten a particularly good deal on something, we thought we'd grab that and then make it go. So for instance, email marketing is something that's part of it. Having an SEO person or doing some SEO software work. Having a social media effort generally is part of a Frankenmarketing effort. It's generally disjointed, if you'll excuse the pun, since we're talking about Frankenstein today. It's something that you've got, but you might not be using as functionally as you think you should have. Maybe you've got some content that you're updating and changing on a regular basis. Maybe you're blogging. Maybe you've got a CRM integration, but probably not. This is one of the things that most Frankenmarketing options don't really have a good solution for, which is actually presenting all the information in your CRM so that your sales team can use it effectively. So basically, you've built your marketing effort over time. You've added pieces. You've been able to swap pieces in and out, just like Frankenstein's monster. But you probably lost sight of the original vision, which is creating a clear and present goal to use marketing to grow your business. So that's what we're going to get into today. That's what we're going to spend our time talking about so that we can effectively use this tool or ditch it on the whole. So How do you know if you have a monster? Well, there are three basic ideas that you can think of as to whether or not this is something that you should be concerned about. Is number one, are you too busy to deal with your marketing? Do you have them in various parts and you're just kind of hoping that they all work together? If so, you've definitely got a monster on hand. Have you ever said to yourself, well, it's better to do something than not do anything? So is it better to have what I've got as opposed to starting from scratch and spending a whole lot of money and time? Well, that's got to be good, right? Well, the answer is not really. Third, and well, hey, I get a report each month. And so isn't that great? Well, it depends on the value of the report. True story, we actually had a client come to us who was dealing with a similar agency as ours, and in their report, they, on about the fourth page deep, it said goals for the month, and then parentheses, insert goals here. The company that they were working with was building off a template that they didn't even bother to enter the correct information. So if you've got a monster, maybe it's working, maybe it's not. Let's actually figure out how that should work. So back in the day, before the internet, which, you know, we're talking about 7-8 years ago, sales was really focused on a couple of different things. It was focused first on grabbing somebody's attention. Hey, I have this thing that you need to buy, and it's a high pressure sales. Like, do this, do this. Let's absolutely, you need this, sort of that checkered sports coat mentality of what can I do to get you into this thing today? It's based on what I can do to make your life better. And there's a difference between sales and marketing. That's the way it used to be. The way it really is now is a much more together environment. It's all about the customer. What does the customer want? And are you providing it to them? Second, sales should have a system for follow-up. So anything marketing related, sales or marketing related, should have a CRM system. And third, you're providing value at every single turn. So really what I want you to think about now, and as we're evaluating your systems to determine whether or not you're having a Frankenmarketing system, is it truly connected to marketing? Do you have one system? So you're creating a customer journey, not just having marketing efforts and then sales efforts, and then they become a customer. So those three different buckets, it really should just be one long road. Here's what a traditional sales funnel looks like. It's got 4 different parts. It starts with awareness, then it gets down to consideration, then people are evaluating the product, and then they make a purchase, right? This is the standard sales funnel that they share in Business School 101, probably on the first day. The trouble is, it's not actually correct anymore. This is what a sales funnel actually looks like now. Your prospects will take a long, winding road to get where they want to be. And if you can see down here in the bottom, the last thing that they're actually doing is contacting the sales department. So they've made all of those decisions. They've shared all of those positive things before they've even gotten to the point where they are going to make a decision as to whether or not they want to talk to you. So the customers that you're dealing with are only going to talk to you when they want to talk to you and on their terms. So we've got this big winding sales journey now. What exactly does this break this down into? It breaks down into conceptually a brand new funnel. This is what your funnel should look like now. It's not a funnel as much as it is a flywheel, where all of these things are continuously turning as you're dealing with new customers and as you're presenting new information and as they're evaluating whether or not they want to buy from you. So the marketing and the sales and the service are all equally important to the customer experience that you provide, and the center of the universe has to be the existing customers. How do we leverage this? Well, let's actually look at what a really great smart marketing blueprint should actually look like. And then we're going to come back to Frank, I promise. We've got 4 different parts. We've got attract, convert, close, and delight. And there are all these different things that go with that, and all these different add-ons and things that we can do to present that. Like, In the attraction stage, where people are really strangers, this is the place where we use keywords to try to show people that we're a viable option to them. Create some social publishing on social media and create a blog, really, so that we can determine and present our information and present the fact that we are really experts in our field. At that point, what we've done is we've converted them from strangers to visitors, which means that now we do use things like forms, we use things like landing pages, like calls to action to convert them from being a visitor into actually being a lead. Once they're a lead, now again, what we're trying to do is use things like email marketing, put specific workflows, marketing workflows, and using our CRM as effectively as possible to convert them from being a lead into being a customer. Once they're a customer, our work is not done. Our work is not done by any means. Now our goal is to get them to be happy and delighted and continue to be delighted. So we're providing new content and exceptional content that is smart. So it's content that is still relevant to them even post-purchase. We're monitoring social media to know who's talking about what and when, and then we're sharing surveys and actually we're creating those customers into promoters, which then we've created a nice little cycle. So that's how it should work. You can see at the bottom of the page here that we've got a good 12 or 14 different tools that we can use. Maybe you've got some of these, maybe you don't, maybe you should, but let's go back to Frank for a minute. So I did all these things, right? And I have all of these options. Why doesn't my Frankenmarketing work as well as it should? Well, there are a couple of different reasons for that. Number one is, do you have a strategy in place that you are trying to accomplish, not just doing things for the sake of doing things? What's the real strategy? At the end of the month, what is the number? What is the actionable thing that you're really trying to accomplish through your marketing effort? And can you measure progress towards those goals? How do you know if it's working or not? Well, on the one hand, you can just sort of guess and you can say, well, I think it's working. I feel like it's good. Or can you say, my goal is 17 new leads in a month. And last month I got 14. The month before I got 12. So I'm making progress towards my goal. Third, maybe you don't have a customer persona defined. And we're going to talk about customer personas and what those really mean. So your company's not publishing relevant content to those people. And then finally, one of the most important things is you don't have one centralized system that shares data between marketing and sales. Again, what the marketplace is tending to is flattening out the customer journey from the beginning. From the point of being a stranger to the point of being a customer, the customer is now driving the process. There is no difference between sales and marketing, so there shouldn't be any division within your company of sales and marketing. So if you're going to create a Frankenstein's monster, how do you really do it? How do you really do it so it's actually successful? Well, first of all, you need to create an optimized landing page that has a specific offer on it. That is typically done by your web developer or somebody who's got some website skills that can make you a page that you can start tracking what results are. Next, you're going to have some people who are going to attract visitors. Those are things like social media people, things like pay-per-click advertising people, things like your SEO people. Notice we've immediately gone to 4 different camps of people that we're trying to get into. And keep in mind, all of those people are going to sing for their supper. So they're going to convince you that they are the most successful part of their program and that your program, and they are the brain here. And if it's not working, then it's clearly got to be somebody else's fault. So what you're going to ask those people to do is to place a call to action that captures user detail. So again, what are we doing here? Well, we're trying to measure what we're doing most effectively. Then we want to segment those users within our database. So we know this person is interested in this product, this person is interested in this service. We know who we're talking about so that when we create content, we're sharing it to the right people. And ideally, because everything that I've just talked about is incredibly time consuming, the last thing you need to do is to create an automated workflow to follow up on those new prospects and send them relevant and useful information. That's how you build a Frankenmarketing system. There are 4 different things that you need in order to do that, all of which has to talk to each other, all of which has to be completely seamless, so that your customer who's driving driving your sales funnel now, they are the ones who realize it's seamless from start to finish. Does that seem hard to you? It seems awfully hard to me, and it's important that we realize how tremendously difficult that is to do unless we have some systems in place. So one of the systems that's absolutely critical to move forward is to start by knowing who your audience is by creating a buyer persona. What's a buyer persona? It's a fictional, semi-fictional representation of what your ideal customer is. This is based on real data and some educated guesses. So it doesn't have to be a literal physical person, but take a literal physical person that you work with and then create some educated guesses as to why they purchased with you. What are they interested in? What are their goals? What do their personality types look like? Write down some of their frustrations. Some of them are not necessarily important. And Tracy, I appreciate the comment about the small text on some of your graphics. I will make sure that I will get the relevant information to you outward, but I'm not necessarily wanting you to read everything here. So hopefully I've gotten some bigger stuff in the future. So thanks for the comment. So basically, you've created an entire persona about who your audience is. So then as you're trying to create your marketing effort, you are marketing to specifically that person. You're not saying I'm marketing to everybody. You're not saying I'm marketing to women ages 25 to 49. You're saying I'm marketing to Susan or Jane or something like that. Your persona story needs to be in 5 chapters. And Tracy, I'm hoping that this helps you out a little more because the words are a little bigger. Write 1 paragraph each. Start with the job or the demographic information. What do they do? How did they come to you? Second, a day in their life. What did they do? What is their day-to-day responsibilities? What are the things that they do on a regular basis? Third, what are their challenges? What are their pain points? What are their real deep concerns? Are they an emotional buyer or are they a logical buyer? Fourth, what are some of the information sources they use? What are some of the influences in their life and in their job do they do in order to make decisions? And then fifth, what are some common objections you hear from people like that person? Everybody has in their development of their marketing plan an idea of what your frequently asked questions are. So what are those are objections really. Those are things that come up on a regular basis, which is why they're frequently asked questions. So based on that, how can we figure out what common objections are going to be coming from a specific persona? So once you do that and create that specific persona, then you can start getting some more customer love by building out the marketing program and that marketing plan of your dreams. And here's how you do it. Number 1, make sure that you understand your customer persona and the challenge they face while doing their job. Next, when you are creating your marketing collateral, demonstrate how what you do can provide a specific solution to a specific problem. If you're in business to do everything for everybody, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything for anybody. Third, make sure that you're publishing content that the new visitors coming to you will find valuable and they want to download. The key phrase there is want to download. Why do you want to have it be downloadable? Is because if it's a download, then it can be tracked. Then when you are getting those email addresses, as you're tracking the downloads, then share that information into a CRM. Those people are now leads. They've gotten a piece of information from you. They're interested in learning more. It's a good time to follow up and ask them more questions about their business and what they are looking to do. Finally, segment by persona and life cycle stage. So are they an opportunity? Are they a marketing qualified lead, a sales qualified lead, or a customer? This is where it gets a little hinky because I told you before to flatten everything. there's still all the most important information, and the segments on your customer journey are still very important to label, which is what I did here by having these 4 different buckets. But from a customer's perspective, you're letting them be the one who is running the show. Once you do this, you're going to get more love and you're going to get more everything. So what I recommend you do, and again, you can do this on your own or with a specific software, is by building a marketing automation workflow that allows your marketing to become sticky. What does that mean? It means that have a marketing plan in place and have the tools that you're using automatically send those people who have engaged with you some new follow-ups on a regular basis. If you go to our website and you fill out a form, you're going to get a couple of emails that are going to come to you automatically asking for feedback. The reason you want to do this is because just because somebody comes to you once, that doesn't mean that they're going to come back a second time. So you want to keep the prospect engaged and help them across the buyer journey when they're ready. This is what's known as lead nurturing. Everything that you do has to include trackable call to action buttons within your blog. That helps give the prospect an opportunity to call you. So our job is to shorten the amount of time between a customer finding us and becoming a customer. So anything we can do to make it convenient for the customer to make their own decisions, we want to be able to do that. So anytime we're asking somebody to contact us, we're giving them the opportunity to contact us. And yes, the SEO is still critically important in all of this. Getting the redirects, getting the meta tags, getting the page structure right, having your site built in the right way so that search engines will constantly rank you highly so that you can start filling that top of that flywheel funnel and getting people who haven't found you before to start working with you and start looking at you and examining you is absolutely important. That being said, whatever you do, don't do these things. Number one, don't presume that a new visitor wants to know about you. They don't. I know this seems weird, but let me explain. Anytime somebody is going to come to your website, that's because they are making the decision to try and solve a problem. Maybe they don't know they have a problem yet, but chances are good they do. They have a problem. They are asking you to solve it, and they are coming to you to see how well you can solve it. Next, don't list out your services and try to explain what you do. Your customers will not care about what you think you can do. The only thing that they care about is whether or not you can solve their problems. Next, don't over-optimize keywords, as this makes website text unreadable. Good rule of thumb is to go on your website and actually read what you have written there out loud. If it sounds weird coming out of your mouth, it's going to sound weird going into somebody's brain. There's another concept in SEO which is known as link keyword stuffing. Have you ever seen a website that says something to the extent of, if you're looking for a Minneapolis plumber, the best Minneapolis plumber in Minneapolis is Minneapolis Plumbing? That sentence sounds weird and it sounds goofy because I said the word Minneapolis and plumbing five different times. That's not a sentence that people say on a regular basis. The reason that people write that on a website is they think the more times they use the word Minneapolis, the more times they use the word plumber, the better. And the more times it'll fit together, therefore it'll up my search ranking. It doesn't actually do that. Finally, don't start sentences with we. That we is a great way to show that you don't understand your audience and you don't have the content available that they're searching for. Remember that goofy map that I showed you earlier about how everything is everywhere. What your customers are looking for is a solution to their problem. That's it. What you're prideful in doesn't matter to them. The only thing they want to know is how well you can solve their problem. So what's the easiest thing to do? Well, if you've got a Frankenmarketing system that you're not happy with, or it's not working the way you think it should, or it's not giving you the results you should, I'd encourage you to think about starting from scratch. You're going to spend a little bit more, but you're going to realize a tremendous opportunity savings of time. all of these different disjointed parts who are all not working in harmony, it's the easiest way to do that is by creating an orchestra. Next, make sure that your CRM is integrated into every part of your marketing effort. Your sales force should be able to see when they pull up their CRM that this new customer from ABC company has looked at my website 3 times. They've looked at these 2 specific pages, and they made this one specific download. That helps your salespeople have the appropriate conversation with the person because they've already been armed with the knowledge of what that person is interested in and how they can go about targeting and solving what that problem is. Finally, realize growth is good. Having this problem is playing with house money. You have to create something bigger and better because you've gotten bigger and better. Your needs have grown to the extent that you have to start saving time, and you can't just focus exclusively on money. Ultimately, what you'll see happen is if you create a completely integrated system, like an inbound system, everything will start working harmoniously, which means that not only will you save quite a bit of time, your customers will save quite a bit of time because everything's going to be easy to do. An inbound funnel looks like this. It goes get traffic, get leads, get customers, and then analyze. So when we're getting traffic, we're doing things like SEO, creating new content, sharing it on social, creating blog content. Then what we're trying to do is get leads. So we're trying to convert those people from just reading our stuff into actually doing something, creating calls to action, putting them everywhere, and tracking everything that we do. Finally, once we've done that, then they become a lead. Then we're sending them automated emails to drive them along the buying cycle. It provides the sales team with lead intelligence so that the salespeople are really getting the information that they need. They can make really good, effective sales calls, and then they can become customers. Finally, analyze your success. Just set a goal, figure out, did you meet your goal or not? And make sure the number is actually meaningful. Don't have a number be something like, well, I want 1,000 people to visit my website. That's easy enough to do, but that's not going to make you any more money. And then you determine which areas needs further optimizations for future success. Marketing is, by and large, it's math. It's figuring out how many people did you get, how many people took the action you wanted to take. So as I said, I've gone through a lot of information quickly. Tracy, I appreciate the feedback. I will absolutely work on sending you the funnel or following up with you after the fact to see if I can pick up any of the pieces. Feel free and reach out to me at my contact information there. As a thank you and a follow-up for sharing this information with you, and also for you to be participating today, is I'm going to put together a checklist for you. How do you run an inbound campaign? How do you make all of these things work harmoniously? This will help you determine whether or not it's time to kill your Frankenmarketing and whether or not you can actually have the capacity to create something new. You know, it's fall, all the leaves are falling off the trees, and that should be a fairly optimistic time for you because it means that something new and something better is always on the horizon. And that'll be the great part of working on a project like this. Thanks for joining us. Again, my name is Trygve. I appreciate the time. And if you want to follow up with us, we'd love to hear from you. But we'll see you next time, and thanks for participating.